So we had a property come in the day before yesterday, actually. It was actually in Elizabethtown. The guy wants like $46,000. Says he spent about $10,000 on the property, but it still needs electrical and plumbing. As soon as I saw $46,000, I hopped over to Zillow, and his estimate's at $96,000. I don't ever pay too much attention to that. They're pretty accurate sometimes in some areas, but either way, just at a quick glance, we'll see what's sold around it. I'll usually go to sold. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath. Zoom out just a little bit. So the house we are looking at is right here, right in the middle of 3rd Street. If you look, this is a different neighborhood here and a different neighborhood here. So we really only want to look at these houses right here in this pocket. And it looks like we had one sell for $134,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, about 100 less square feet than the one we're looking at. But you can see this one's brick, but inside it's not a good flip by any means. It has all the old wood looking trim. Kitchen countertops look like they're just cheaper countertops. Older lighting. Looks like an older vent fan here. They have like horrible lighting right here. So it's not a good flip by any means. Yeah, it's got the cheap countertops. Looks like the mechanics are right in the middle of the kitchen right here. That's interesting looking. But anyways, it's definitely not a good flip. Might make a little rental, but it's definitely not a good flip. Bathroom's not bad, and so that one sold in 2020 for $134,000. So we know we can at least get that 135 range, 134. Here's one that sold last Christmas, and it sold for $127. It's got a little more square feet. It has a garage. Ours doesn't have a garage, and it looks like it's got a larger property as well. It's also vinyl siding, but you can see they have a metal roof on it, so that's definitely a plus versus a regular roof. No, look at that. It's got horrible ceilings on it. Looks like they're drooping right through here. I do say they put new flooring. Looks like they did paint. Kitchen's got cheap countertops, cheap white appliances. Cabinets aren't too bad. I don't like the wood color, but they're not very nice cabinets either. Bathroom, you know, it's just your standard. It looks like maybe not even a 36-inch. It's more like a 30-inch. Small bathroom up here, it looks like, but they did do nice in the shower. The bathrooms and kitchens are what sells properties. It looks like they focused more on the bathroom than they did the kitchen, but that is nice tile and shower right there they've got. I like how they kind of broke it up with that design right there, and it's got a nice Rainmaker type of overhead shower head. But overall, it's a flip, but it's just not that nice. So, you know, they got $127,500. So we know that one for $128,000. It sold almost a year ago. Wasn't that nice? We saw this one for $134,000, but it was brick. The other one had a garage. So either way, both of those have something more than our house does, particularly a garage or a basement. Those $10,000 to $15,000 is what I try to add or subtract from a property. Whether ours has it, theirs don't, vice versa. Whether it's attached garage or detached doesn't make big difference too much, unless it's just like a really huge detached garage. Then obviously if it's a big garage, that would be different. Looks like one sold for $131,000, about the same square footage as ours. It looks similar to ours. This one also has a garage though, but it's also sold in 2020. I try not to use properties that are less than 12 months sold, but you can tell this area just doesn't have much action. Sometimes what I'll do too is see what's for sale, see what's sold in this area. Okay, so there is one in the neighborhood that's for sale. They're wanting $165,000. That's not a good sign right there. They cut it $10,000 over a month ago and it still hasn't sold. It is brick, but they didn't do much work to it. It looks like maybe a homeowner just put theirs on there. Yeah, this isn't, yeah, see, these are the old cabinets, like before they do any flooring work. Let's go through here. I'm not sure whether this is that photo in here. You know, it's not a flip by any means. Somebody might have came in and just cleaned this one out a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely not a flip. There's wood paneling. I don't like the cabinets at all. This isn't a flip, but somebody's trying to get they just want too much. This is something right here you got to pay attention to. Don't price yourself too high, because then it's going to sit on the market. And let's see how long this one's been sitting there. So this looks like a flip. Look, somebody bought it for $85,000 and then turned around 6 days later and tried to sell it for $125,000. Then it was removed, so somebody did buy it for that. They might have just bought it, cleaned it up real good, and you see 6 days later it was resold. They probably hoteled the property and put, you know, some money into it to clean it all out. But then somebody bought it for $125,000 in 2019, but then it looks like they flipped it in 2022, or like I said, it looks like they just owned it and lived there for a couple years, because there's not much done to the property. But it's been on the market since July 13th. What's that, July to September, or July to August, August, September. It's been on the market for over 60 days now, and they've already had to drop the price once. They just priced this one too high. They try to do a little minimal work and then try to sell it too high. So regardless, that tells me that there's just not much action that takes place over here. But let's go take a look at it. I think we can at least get the 130, 140 range. We're going to drive out to Elizabethtown and take a look at it now.
lie, I ain't been down there it's probably been a year since I've been down there.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different probably last time you saw it.
Yeah, definitely is.
So, I mean, I know that, you know, I know you put money into it, you know, but 46 I wouldn't be able to do, you know what I mean? It's just got way too much going on, you know. But yeah, I'm headed back. I just pulled out of there actually. I'm headed back up to Indiana now. Well, do you know, man, where you would be at that would make sense for you? That, you know.
I mean, tell me, what you thinking, and.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me get back to the house then, and be able to do some numbers, you know, and just see where it would make sense. So typically, you know, especially when this is going to be a longer project because there's so much that needs to be done. But,
right.
But typically, man, you know, I try to be in and out of something, money going in and money coming back out after it's sold 6 months or less. And if I can't make 20 to 25 after that, it's just not worth fooling with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so let me get home and look over just some numbers because I knew it was going to be gutted, but they gutted you after it was gutted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me get home, do some numbers, man. Just see where I would be at as far as a rehab on it, and then I can give you a shout back and shoot you a number. Do you have any idea at all? Just so I don't, like I said, I don't want to offend you by any means, but at the same time, you see what shape the property is in now.
Yeah. Not right offhand, man. Like I said, I got about 46 into that thing, man.
Okay.
And that's, with all the work, man. If you could have seen it before, bro, the trash, the whole inside was filled up with trash. Like every room, you couldn't even walk around in there. And backyard was trash. It was couches. It was an 18-wheeler hood in the back. Like it was, I filled up like 3 dumpsters. Like,
I believe it.
Getting out, and that's not even including all the that burned in the backyard.
Right, and it's not because I had a few people that I reached out to. They just don't like that particular street in that area right there, and it isn't the best street. You know what I mean?
No.
But then, as far as inside the house, there's a lot of room in there for a nice dining room, a nice kitchen, living room. I saw the 3 bedrooms. I see we're gonna put the bath on the back side of the laundry room there. Like I said, space-wise inside, there's plenty of space in there to have a nice little house. It just, you would have to put a deck off the back, obviously, because it's such a far drop there. But I saw
it had one on there. The deck was about to fall out, and I ripped it out, and was intending on putting going a little bigger on the deck in the back. But money became kind of an issue a little bit because I invested in like 2 properties. I should have just concentrated on one.
Right.
I ran out of funds.
No, I've been there, man. I totally understand. Well, like I said, let me get home and I will look over where it would be at for me to be able to do a rehab on it, and then I'll give you a shot back. If not this evening, I'll give you a shot back tomorrow, and just go from there if that's okay with you.
Gotcha, not a problem.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, next one. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. All right, buddy. All right.
Man, that place is rough, man. He obviously lives out of town. He hasn't been there in a year. They took every piece of anything that they could get scrap out of and have removed it from the house. He just needs everything. I mean, I did notice the floor in the dining room was sloping. It felt solid, but I think I don't know. It's going to take a lot. So he wanted 46. There's no way we could do 46. I know he said he had 46 into it, but I did look online. He told me he had about 10,000 into it. But I looked online, it looks like he bought it for $17,000 about 2.5 years ago. And so he might, nobody shows their full hand. He might be closer to about 30 or 36 into it. But, even at 36, I just don't know about this one. We're definitely going to have to get home and look at the numbers and see if it'll make sense. Not only that, but you got the distance. We're an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes from the house. Trying to find contractors to work on it out here and being able to keep up with it. As a rental, I wouldn't want to have a rental this far out and try to manage it myself. And I don't have enough in this area to be able to make sense to have like property management for that property. So it has to be a flip. And I don't know, like I said, we'll get home and look at the numbers and figure it out, I guess. So that was a super long drive. I'm sure you can see from the video that this one needed a lot more than just some electrical and some plumbing. But never count a deal out. We came back, looked at all the numbers. I messaged the guy. I think he just messaged back a minute ago, actually. You know, this house needs everything. We're gonna end up needing major yard cleanup, redoing the driveway. The driveway was horrible. A new deck, because on the exterior, it's way too high. You have to at least have some type of deck or steps coming down. All new siding, new tie back on the exterior, and some new plywood. The roof needed some repairs. Of course, AC outside unit. Inside though, it's all new electric, all new plumbing, all new insulation. There's some issues with the floor that needs to be leveled between the dining room and living room. All new drywall, flooring, paint, all new doors, all new trim throughout the house, all new cabinets, countertops, appliances. In the bathroom, obviously, it needs a vanity or tub or shower, toilet, and then of course, all new lighting throughout the entire house, including the exterior. There was no electrical panel there, it just had the outside. We're gonna put an all new electrical panel on. And not to mention the mechanics themselves as far as the air handler inside and then the water heater. And so after looking at the numbers, we're probably at about $65,000 for the rehab on this one. I texted him just a couple minutes ago and he said he was about $46,000 into this one. We would have to be around 20 to 25 to make it make any sense to us. I hit him up and he just said, hey, it's all good. Thanks for taking a look at it, and definitely keep him in mind for painting. He's actually a contract painter, and so he runs his own outfit. And so we had side conversations about using him for some properties in the future. He still said he'd have to be right around 46. You know, it's not going to be a deal for us, but I am excited that he even brought back up our conversation about being a contract painter. We definitely love to get new networking and to get something out of it. So I think either way, we definitely gained something out of this conversation. You know, he even mentions right here that he might end up taking out a loan to finish the property. So I told him, I said, look, honestly, it's probably your best bet other than maybe a partnership. Kind of threw that out there, not really saying me, but you know, he might have somebody to partner with, but you know, he might want to partner with me on it. And we figure out, you know, something to where we're willing to help him do the work, but then we also are able to wiggle ourselves in and be able to get paid on the deal as well. But I told him, hey man, it's not going to do anything to get worse as time goes on. You know, this is something that's just sitting there getting worse and worse. There's no locks on the doors, and you know, people are going to continue to tear it up. I told him I would definitely come to town, because he lives about an hour out of town, and board it up and secure it, because the weather and people are just going to continue to tear it up. He said, thanks, I didn't know what I was doing. He said he just kind of jumped head first into the property without any kind of guidance, and he put lesson learned. So this is one of those situations where he just kind of wanted to flip some houses. He was already doing some painting. He'd probably been around a lot of contractors, and you know, he knew the process, and so he jumped in, and he said he actually bought 2 properties, but I didn't ask him about the other one because I think he sold that in the way he mentioned it. But either way, he just didn't have the money, and funding ran out. Well, it's been a year since he's been in that property. It's just going to continue to devalue if he doesn't do something with it. The doors were wide open on it. The weather and people are going to continue to tear that place apart. So didn't get a deal on this one today, but that's okay. Hopefully we gained a new contractor for painting.